Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar. We've got your top NFL player props for Week 4 Monday Night Football. We got another double dip here in our Monday Night Football games alongside Tyler Wiemann. I'm Shannon Sommerville. We've got some great prop bets for you in this one, and it should be an interesting game. Both games are kind of unique, of course. The game total a little bit higher in that Seattle-Detroit game than the Miami Dolphins, who are hosting the Tennessee Titans in this one. But both of those games, we've got a little bit of edge. We're using that PropsAI tool on the LineStar app to help us find the best value in the prop market. Make sure to check that out at LineStarApp.com. And before we even get started, make sure to do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to our LineStar YouTube channel, and comment below. Let us know if you've got any locks for tonight. Also, a comment enters you into our prop bets contest, where every day, if we go 4 for 4 on our picks, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. So let's go get some picks, lock them in. Now, we do have an announcement and some business to take care of before we get into our prop bets. The first thing is we absolutely have to congratulate our colleague, Eli Almada, who had a big takedown in DFS on Sunday. 20K takedown on the DraftKings Pocket Passer contest for $100K in prizes. So congrats to Eli. He's one of our engineers at LineStar. And so, of course, he's using the lineup optimizer on LineStar to help him create lineups. And he has been a DFS takedown machine, Tyler.
He's been crushing it this year.
He's just been awesome. So we'll have to get him on our show to give some insight into some of his lineup tricks and kind of how he's been any strategies that he's been implementing that has led to all this success. Because I feel like this is maybe what is second or third 20K takedown in just a couple months. And of course, using that LineStar optimizer. So maybe he can give us some tips. We'll try to get him on the show here for you guys. But congrats to him. And other news in MLB, we finished the season strong with a win. So we actually get to start off the show celebrating our Major League Baseball success in the props department. So Tyler, bust out the money guns. We get to announce a winner. There we go. So the winner for Friday's MLB contest is going to be Firefighter Dave, who commented, "Good parlay. Thank you for capping. Thank you for watching, Firefighter Dave. Congrats, you win $50. Comments on this video. We'll get in touch with you to get you your prize money." And again, if you'd like to be a winner like Firefighter Dave, all you need to do is like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below, and you are in it to win it just like that. All right, let's get into Monday Night Football action. Last week on the show, we were 1-2 on our prop bets. So not as successful there. We did cash a touchdown call for Jalen Hurts. So let's see if we can't get after it today. 2 games on the slate. We've got let's see. We've got Tennessee, Miami, and Seattle, Detroit Lions here, and a couple injury notes that I do want to make you guys aware of. Let's start off with the Tennessee Titans. An interesting note here: the last place Will Levis actually won a game was as a starting quarterback was 9 months ago at Miami, and then Tyler Huntley will now be the quarterback for Miami in this one. He's a much better alternative there for Miami. So I kind of like the prospects a bit more on offense for Miami in this game, but they are dealing with some injuries. Offensive tackle Teron Armstead is out, as is cornerback Kendall Fuller. Some other injuries that they're dealing with. We've got running back Raheem Mostert listed as doubtful. He's probably not going to go. And then for Tennessee, they are without probably their star on defense, Jeffrey Simmons, listed as doubtful. Also, popping up on the injury report for Tennessee was cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, and he's questionable along with safety Amani Hooker. So some injuries to take note of, and maybe some places we can look at in the prop market based on those injury reports. Next up, Seattle, Detroit. Detroit will be without their center, Frank Ragnow. He is out in this one. And then for Seattle, they're actually really banged up on defense, missing 4 of their starters on defense. So that's definitely something we can kind of take a look at as we head into the prop market. Now, Seattle, Detroit's a little interesting in terms of that game total. These teams have met each of the last 3 seasons. They've combined to score an average of 80.3 points per game in those contests, which is crazy. But I also feel like Seattle's defense this year is actually pretty good. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out. But let's get into some props. Now, Tyler and I have both got using the PropsAI tool on the LineStar app, and we've picked out 2 each. So we're just going to alternate back and forth. So Tyler, why don't you start us off with your favorite prop for tonight in Monday Night Football?
All right, I'm going to go with Tony Pollard over 13.5 receiving yards. LineStar projections 18.6, consensus is 18.1. He's averaging 22.3 receiving yards per game. He has 14 targets in 3 games, so he is being used regularly in the passing game. Miami so far is allowing 26 per game to the running back, and in all 3 the RB1 has been over versus Miami. I like the spot for Pollard. He's a good pass catching back, and he can rip this off in one play.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Pollard because I was looking at the Titans pass catchers in this one. Given that the Miami defense hasn't been that stellar this season, and they are pretty low for guys like Calvin Ridley and who else do we got there? We've got DeAndre Hopkins as well. So for guys like that, I was tempted, but it's like I can't really trust Will Levis to be able to get it to those guys. But Pollard is a guy that'll be a nice check down option for him in the passing game to kind of get him going here. So I like the Pollard spot that you picked out. And for my pick, I'm actually going to receptions on the other side of this lineup or this matchup, and we're going to Devon Achane over 3 receptions. It has gone up to 3.5. I still like the over. The consensus projection for Achane is 4.4 receptions. He's been over 3 receptions in 2 of 3, but he had 3 last week, so he pushed last week. But he was targeted 5 times in that game. Now, Mostert likely out. He's been out since week 1 with a chest injury. He's still listed as doubtful. Tom Pelissero from NFL Network says he's not likely to go tonight. So in that case, we're looking for more Achane. I think the game plan here for Mike McDaniels is really just going to be for Tyler Huntley, their new quarterback, to get him acclimated and get it to the playmakers like Achane, guys with a lot of speed. Just get it to them in space and see if they can make plays. And we know Achane has the capability to do that. I think also they'll create plays where he can just get a quick out to Achane over the middle. Going up against Tennessee, they're actually 32nd in pass defense DVOA, specifically to the running back position, and they're likely without their star defensive tackle, Jeffrey Simmons, in this one. The secondary is also a little banged up too. Tennessee's given up an average of 4 receptions per game to running backs. Breece Hall, if you remember from a couple of weeks ago when they faced the Jets, he had 7 receptions in that game. So that could be a nice spot for Achane. So like an Achane over 3 receptions. Tyler, what else you got for us tonight?
We're going to go to a forgotten man in the Detroit offense, and that is Sam LaPorta over 38.5 receiving yards. Seattle's allowing 57.3 per game to the tight end. Hunter Henry just ripped off 8 receptions for 109 yards versus them. LaPorta is also off the injury report. He was dealing with an ankle injury, but he appears to be totally good to go now. Detroit needs to get him involved, and Seattle has been very, very tough to the wide receivers. They rank first in our team defense tool against the wide receiver 1 and 5th versus the wide receiver 2. After those 2, Sam LaPorta is the next option in this passing game. So I think LaPorta over 38.5 is a good bet.
And those defenders there in the defensive line, again, just really banged up. 4 starters out for Seattle. So that's definitely an area they could target and really use Sam LaPorta in this one. I'm hoping so because he's on my fantasy squad and I'd love to get a win this week. Maybe Sam LaPorta, maybe for a touchdown as well. I would love to see that. But over on the receiving yards, I'm liking that bet, especially against that banged up Seattle team. So for my prop bet, though, I'm going to the Detroit Lions running back, David Montgomery, over 72.5 rush and receiving yards. LineStar's projection is 81.8. And I've already mentioned a few times, Seattle's D-line is without 4 of their starters. That's going to impact things. They also, as Tyler mentioned, talking about Sam LaPorta's over on his receiving yards, they do have a great secondary. So really good at just eliminating those big passes to some of those wide receivers. They are second in pass defense DVOA this season, but that could mean it goes more to the running backs in this one. Detroit's also without their center, Frank Ragnow. So a guy like David Montgomery, they could utilize him more in pass protection, which could mean he's just out there for more snaps in this one. So I like David Montgomery's chances. He had 122 versus Arizona, 70 versus Tampa Bay, 93 versus the Rams. So I think he's in a good situation this week. And I'm definitely leaning David Montgomery over Jahmyr Gibbs. If for no other reason than Tyler, you'd be out of your mind if you thought I would go with an Alabama running back after what Alabama just did to my Georgia Bulldogs. Did you see that game?
Man, what a wild game that was.
Yeah, wild game. So I'm a little bitter, and I mean, I'm sure Jahmyr Gibbs is in an excellent spot as well, but I just can't quite stomach that one. So we're gonna go David Montgomery here. But actually, I really like the prospects for him in tonight's contest. So we'll go David Montgomery here. Let us know if you've got any picks. Another kind of one that might be interesting is Tyreek Hill's pretty low too right now at about 50 receiving yards for his line. I've seen it 49, I've seen it 50 in some places. So that's kind of an interesting one. Usually don't see that low, but given the quarterback situation now without Tua Tagovailoa back there throwing the ball, it's been kind of a mixed bag of results. So it's another one that I endorse, but I'm not going to make it one of our main ones.
Yeah, I actually do really like that prop. I almost picked that as my as one of my two. So I think Tyler Huntley is just a very capable backup, and we've seen him, you know, throw for over 200 yards in starts before, and if he does that again, Tyreek's going to get a large portion of that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely a guy. Also, what we saw with Skylar Thompson was like he just stayed in the pocket and was kind of a statue back there. But Tyler Huntley is a guy that moves around, and so I think that could give some of his playmakers and receivers a bit more time to just work the field and get open. And he's not afraid to air it out. So I like Tyler Huntley and his prospects here with this offense to kind of just get the speed going here. And that's kind of where I think they lean into this game, just really try to get those fast playmakers the ball in this one. So like Tyreek Hill there as well. If you've got any locks for us, again, drop them in the comments below. And our picks are available in places like Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, Chalkboard, ParlayPlay. If you don't have those apps, download them. Use the promo code LineStar, though, when you first download, and you'll get a deposit match. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of LineStar. So it's a nice little deal for you guys there. Now it is time for touchdown calls of the day. Tyler, where are you headed for an anytime touchdown in these Monday Night Football contests?
We're going to go with Sam LaPorta plus 205. I just love the plus 205 number here. Seattle's been weak versus tight end for years. They're 27th versus tight end in our team defense tool. They rank 24th, allowing 0.4 touchdowns per game to the tight end position over the last 9 games, but yet over the last 3, they haven't allowed a touchdown. So that just goes to show you that they do allow a lot of tight ends. The last 3 that they've played, Denver, New England, and Miami, only New England really goes to the tight end position. And Hunter Henry, while he didn't get in the end zone, he did go for 8 receptions, 109 yards. I think this is a great spot for LaPorta to get going, get in the end zone. He did have 10 touchdowns last year. I think he gets one today.
I hope so. Shannon's Cooper Troopers need Sam LaPorta to put up some numbers tonight in our contest. For my pick, I am going to the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, plus 180 for an anytime touchdown. This is a guy who had 13 touchdowns just last season. I know there's been a change at quarterback. He only has 1 this season, but Tennessee is 29th in pass DVOA, specifically versus wide receiver ones. Yeah, that's a great matchup for Cheetah to absolutely exploit. Tyler Huntley, I'm much more comfortable taking this with him at quarterback. He's more mobile. He can kind of run around a little bit, giving receivers like Tyreek Hill plenty of time to get open, and he is not afraid to air it out as well. And he doesn't even really need to throw it that far down the field. Just get Cheetah the ball in space, and he can absolutely take off for a touchdown and make the defense pay. So I'm going Tyreek Hill for an anytime touchdown. Could have a much better game. I like the change that they made at quarterback for the Dolphins. And Mike McDaniel is a guy who knows how to scheme to get his best playmakers the ball, however he has to do it. So I think we'll see some interesting things with that Dolphins offense in this one. So let's go with a Cheetah anytime touchdown. Let us know if you've got any touchdown locks for tonight in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. You guys have been giving out some winners in the comments. So make sure you are also tuning into everyone's comments below, because we've had some pretty good takes lately. So thank you for commenting. And remember, again, a comment enters you into our prop bets contest. So hopefully we can cash out, give you guys a nice winning ticket with our picks. And then you can also announce a winner, which we will announce on next week's Monday Night Football show. So hopefully we got some good picks for you guys. Now we got to just talk the game totals and just our impressions of the spread and how we're playing these matchups. Let's start off with Tennessee at Miami. Dolphins favored by 2.5 in this one. Tyler, which way are you playing this?
I got to go the Dolphins in this one. I just cannot get behind Will Levis whatsoever. And I think Tyler Huntley is just going to be a big boost to the team. Obviously not over Tua, but over Skylar Thompson. So
absolutely,
let's go Miami here.
Yeah, I kind of hate myself for taking the favorite in this one, especially after what we've seen over the first couple of weeks of the season. But I
Mhm.
can't kind of veer away when I look at these guys. I mean, the Titans are looking for their first win of the season, even though they do have a decent defense that's been kind of holding them together. Will Levis isn't a guy that I trust. So there's that. And then I like Mike McDaniel as a head coach being able to kind of rally his team and get them ready and get them a win tonight here at home. So I gotta take Miami in this one. All right, next up, let's move on to Seattle at Detroit. This is an interesting one. Seattle Seahawks are the undefeated squad, but they're the underdogs in this one. What do you make of it?
Oh man, with Seattle's injuries, I think it's going to be hard on the defensive ball. I think it's going to be hard for them to really stop Detroit, and with that, I just got to go Detroit.
Same. Okay. I hate myself and both of us for taking favorites, but it's so
Yeah,
hard for me to trust Gino in this spot against a pretty good Detroit defense, especially given the fact that I think that Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are going to start figuring it out a little bit. They have been, Goff has been a little hit or miss, but Seattle is without some of its best defenders up front to be able to get to him a little bit. So I, I know I hate it. I hate it. Got to
yeah.
roll with the favorites in this one, and the Detroit Lions don't really. I don't know. It's hard for me to trust Gino. I have too much PTSD as a Jets fan watching him flip off the Jets fans at the Meadowlands. So I got that going for me. Tyler, it's been a rough week for my overall teams. We had the Georgia Bulldogs. Can we just take a moment to
And then the Jets just, oh man,
just
how do you lose
please
to Denver?
also please also send me your condolences in the comments because I had a rough weekend
Yeah,
Saturday
you
night
did.
rooting for Georgia against Alabama. I was actually at a watch party, and I mean, I feel like half the bar cleared out by halftime because we thought it was over. We were just kind of hanging out, and then
Hey,
all of a sudden we look up,
to
we're
be
like,
fair,
okay.
I don't even know how you guys got back into it. So, I mean, you need to give yourselves a round of applause a little bit for that.
Okay, all
But it
right.
was definitely a
Well,
rough way to lose.
and
Ryan
then
Ryan
the
Williams is insane.
oh my gosh. And then so Sunday, I'm like, all right, the Jets. And it's bad when your weekend, your hopes of a good weekend just rest on the Jets. Like that's probably not a good situation to be in, which is how I found myself yesterday. And sure enough, losing to Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos at home, not something I foresaw. And I think a lot of people also lost that pick in their survivor leagues. So the Jets did everybody dirty yesterday, I think. What was your
Yeah.
impressions of that
I
atrocity?
Well, it's just wild. It seemed like Rodgers had finally got that offense kind of going. Last week it looked like it was finally coming along, and then they were just in total disarray. Like,
Oh,
I don't know what's going on with the Jets, but it is not looking great right now.
not looking great, but we do have some good games to look forward to tonight. So, you know what I always
Mhm.
say when your team is just doing terrible? Thank God we have sports betting to just, get us excited about the games again. So, hopefully, I got these picks in. Let's go get it today. Again, drop your comments below. If you've got any locks for us, you got to share it with us. We're all trying to help each other out and beat the books. So, let's go crush it on this Monday double header. Good luck out there. We will see you guys next time. Enjoy the games.